Hey, everybody, it's Scotty T, and this is your Comedy Minute. And I have a fantastic show today. I have an award winning radio personality, comedian, and author. The wonderful Ed Tyll is here. Ed, it is so nice to have you here.
Scott, a pleasure. Great to join you today. Well, it's great to be with you. You sent me a picture of Ringo, and you got me going right away because I was in front of the television, second grade, when all week we heard the Beatles were going to be on, growing up in the Bronx. They're coming to the city. At the candy store, they sold buttons for the girls. I love Paul. I love John. There was nothing for dudes to buy for merch. Merch was all girl merch. But oh my God, when they finished, we were all ready to be Beatles. We're like, I don't even know why we're going to school. I mean, what's the point? We could just do this. Millions of dollars, beautiful girls, and look, that's how it's turned out, Scott. I still feel like the Beatles.
Meeting Ringo was probably one of the highlights of my career.
Yeah.
I mean,
What career now? What were you
for God's sake?
What were you doing that you got to meet him?
No. We will have to come back another time. This is about Ed Tyll.
Okay, right.
Ed Tyll.
Yes.
You were born in New York, the Bronx, is that right?
Tough neighborhood, the Bronx.
And you're in Florida now. You're in Florida now?
I am in Florida now.
Okay. Yeah. How in the hell did that happen?
Well, you start out born in the Bronx. Right there, something's wild in your future if you're born in the Bronx. Because as a baby is born in the Bronx, you can hear the cry of the child. If you keep listening, you can hear the neighborhood shoot down the stork. I don't want to say it's a tough neighborhood, but Scott, seriously, the doctor slaps you to get you going. When my father sued him for assault. This is how the Bronx, very defensive. This is true story. We're leaving the hospital, Westchester Square Hospital, and my dad's got a hold of me. My mom is in tow. They stop at the door, and the guy says, cop says, you can't go out there. Puerto Rican terrorists have taken over the bank across the street. No one's allowed on the sidewalk. My dad says, don't worry, they're not after us. And he walks right past the guard. So this is how I got started. You know what I mean? The stork is spilling out of the sky. My father's walking into terrorists. Yeah.
We'll get to Florida, but if I heard right, you sang when you were 6 years old at a birthday party, and that's how you knew you were going to do entertainment.
Oh, wedding, even bigger. Wedding.
Wedding. I'm sorry. Yeah, 500 people.
I didn't even know what a wedding was, and I wore a tuxedo because I was the ring bearer.
Right.
You're a little squirt. You carry I don't know what's going on, but I'm in a tux, and my role was over in 20 seconds or whatever. I did my thing. So I'm hanging around. The band is up there doing stuff, and the guy says to me, hey, can you sing anything? I said, of course. And I jumped right up on stage. He let me sing the old Frank Sinatra, Love and Marriage Goes Together Like a Horse and Carriage. So I get a big ovation, Scott. I'm friggin' rocking now. So the band leader looks at me. He's way up there, big, tall guy. He says, do you know anything else? I said, yeah. Do you guys know Take Me Out to the Ball Game? He turns to the band and goes, come on. And they play Take Me Out, and I'm killing, walk off. Like it was almost a mic drop, but it didn't have far to go because I was only 3 feet tall. We're making noise, a mic drop.
Let's try to be serious for a bit. You had a syndicated radio show that was all over the country. And absolutely amazing career in radio. 50 years plus.
I'm so lucky because I was not trained as a broadcaster, right. But I went to school with some of the best. I went to a communication arts university department, but I wasn't in it. I was pre-law. I thought I would be a prosecutor or a defense attorney in court, one life at a time, very important world we have to and they were having so much fun. So I went to sign up for the College Station, and they go, "Oh no, you can't get on. You're way too. You're a freshman. Yeah, you could empty the garbage for the morning show.
Right.
You can't." So I got very upset by that, as many Bronx people would right away. What? And what are you talking? And I said, I talk nonstop. This has got to be a good match. WRLB, Long Branch, New Jersey, was letting trainees air people on 2 o'clock in the morning, Saturday into Sunday. Half-hour show. You go in the studio, you do your show. My show was about Linda Ronstadt complaining the Eagles get a higher ticket price. My song is as popular as the Eagles. Fantastic. And the show would be recorded for the censors to approve it. Then it would go on the air Saturday night. So I'd get the girlfriend, my little Regina, in the back seat of the Chevelle. She would take a nap all the way down to Jersey. I'd wake her up when my voice was coming out of the radio in my Chevelle. We hear 1 minute of the show, and I'm back. I'm starting to drive back because I'm like, okay, I'm there. I know what I did, but I had to hear it. And she rode for those drives. That's how I got in.
Okay.
At the moment, I am currently hosting syndicated national Sterling every damn night on Talk Media Network, Odyssey radio stations. I'm the guest host because, Scott, I've done enough shows, but I still love it. So this is radio never leaves you. I was 19. I am 69. 50 years of uninterrupted joy on that microphone.
Well, you're not going to like this. You got fired from a lot of radio stations.
I love that. I love that, Scott. I keep saying I'm from the Bronx. Broadcasting, like any other performing art, it's a performing art, even though people will laugh at that. You perform it 4 hours a day. That's a thing. Yeah. So you must be true to yourself. I'm a rambunctious, troublemaking, argument starting, and you know what? Those are all negatives. I watched TV last night.
No, I love it. I love you, Ed. I love you.
Thank you. See, right. There's something there, right? Thank you, Scott. But last night I reminded myself, I'm an Italian, right? Leonardo da Vinci was afflicted, he said. He said it with this incredible curiosity. I want to try everything. I want to go everywhere. I want to see how it works. I want to make it laugh. I want to twist it, play with it, have fun with it, watch the sun come up with it. So that's still magical 50 years in. Scott, I hand to God, I have a show coming up October 28th for Sterling every damn night. I'm already making notes about things. I know what do I think about what would they love? What would they go crazy if I said this or I thought that? So look at this. This is so childlike. It's almost silly, but it's for real. And comedy, which you love, loving comedy. I was a kid, man, this big, and Cosby would kill it on Ed Sullivan with the go-karts, and then George Carlin, the old George Carlin, and then Don Rickles and Richard Pryor. I mean, we were drowning. Red Fox, because I don't know, we were lucky or we just have a different view now, but there was reckless abandon with these comics, man.
My parents, I grew up on Mom's Mabley records. I grew up on Mom's Mabley records. I
remember Mom's Mabley came out on Laugh-In. I remember her coming out in some kind of paisley thing with the hat. No, this is what I mean. You had an embarrassment of riches. All these funny people. Jerry Seinfeld talks about this. When we were kids, they did lead you to believe that everybody was having a good time because there were so many of them. this guy comes on. I love guys like Jack Carter, King. I can't get his first name. Alan King.
Yeah, Alan
I
King.
mean, these guys destroyed in your living room. They destroyed like with just you, me and my mom and dad
Yep.
laughing. So this is why through the radio thing, I've gotten fired. What I think is funny, I got canceled for like a week, man. I thought it was funny because on Saturday Night Live, they're talking about buckwheat. And Eddie Murphy's having a ball and everybody's having fun. So what do I think? I just think, well, you can have fun with that word. Oh, no, you can't. And I go, well, I don't know that yet. And there was no conscience to tell me you can't say it. So I said it. And then I said, I didn't think anything was, oh my God, Scott, I was crawling around for a week. This thing with Kimmel, nothing. My mom, Edward, there's protesters outside your station. Dan Rather, tonight somewhere in Atlanta, a host wonders if it was sick, man. It was even Brokaw had to mention. I said, oh my God, my mother loves Brokaw. Don't say anything. And Tom just went, an Atlanta host has been suspended. It's like I'm waiting for Peter Falk to come to the door and go, ma'am, your son's a talk show host. Is that right? I got that part, but I just, man, I was getting killed, man. And it was over nothing. And even my producer looked at me and went, oh, come on. I'm kidding. There is no bad germ in that DNA, but it's who used it and how you. So I learned hard. I was 30 years old. I was just full of everything was possible in the world, and I couldn't believe it. I was sitting at home, and everybody would go, "Don't worry, man. I go, okay. Then I turn on the TV. Tonight we'd like to editorialize. We don't normally do this. Oh, there you go. Right before the weather. You know what I mean? They're holding the weather back and have to listen to how horrible I am.
Yeah, what a bad person you are. But we talked a bit about like Howard Stern, the Grease Man.
Yes.
And because I actually saw the Grease Man do his show live. I was in the studio at DC 101.
Very nice.
And for a lot of people, will never ever get to experience that because radio is unfortunately now. I guess you know what I mean.
Yeah, man. You can feel. I mean, there is something that goes way back with me. I was into college and that whole thing. I wanted to learn stuff, and First Amendment was very compelling to me. Lenny Bruce, right? All that kind of stuff happened like in Greenwich Village where I grew up. You get it if it was like in a very religious, strict environment, but it was in like Sodom and Gomorrah here, New York City, and you take them off the stage for a word. So when I read this stuff, read up on the Supreme Court, and chilling effect is the worst thing for everybody. The audience is going to get less of a show. The comedians worried about what? I don't know. That poor girl, didn't she take a beer can a year and a half ago? Some girl had it. It was terrible. I mean, they threw it at her on stage. What are we doing? So that...
you know what? Yeah. Not to interrupt you, but, Matt Nagan set this up. And you said shock jock, and you're probably the original shock jock.
I am
because you told me
it's okay.
Hang on. You told me a story about Detroit where there was a shooting and you got there.
Big. He told you about it. This is a huge story.
You told me about it, but I'm just saying that there's something to be said for that, Ed.
I believe so. I mean, this is where, the guy, listen, we don't really want to hear your principles and all about you.
No. I don't want people to preach. I don't need people to preach to me.
Right. That's it. So it's a fine line between sounding one thing when you think you're saying another. So the answer is, I'm a principal. You don't get out of the Bronx. I love my people. But you got to have some principles, and you got to have some things that don't bend no matter what the circumstances are. The thing I love about free speech is I believe Jefferson and all these guys are correct. They're not just what I like. I like it, but I think it makes logical sense. We're all going to do worse if you can't say it. The occasional thing that you say that even me, I don't mind getting stung by the bee. They didn't cancel me out. I've had a great career. They didn't use the word cancel, but we had to boycott and this and that. All of it melted away. Why? The public also. You can't just turn the public on somebody because you say so, and then the public has to be grouchy with you. You want to be grouchy about something, go grouch out. But it's going to be harder and harder to get people to give you their energy to be mad at something, I think. The pendulum of extreme expressions of anger, you know what I mean? You're up there at 180, it's coming back, and it comes back big. I believe
Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air.
Jimmy Kimmel's back. They all.
No. You know what? Let's move on because you've done so much. You have a book called Hired Tongue, and you have merchandise. You have autographed copies of that. You also have a new book coming out, Breaking Live: 5 Decades on Radio. And I think there's one more that I saw on Facebook you may put out. Is that right?
I learned how to write a book, which was painful. Now I can't stop because I imagine books. Books are a very pussy way of expressing yourself. Let's face it. You want to have balls, get out there in front of a big audience and express. But when you're writing, no one can get in. Yeah. And I thought, well, you should hear yourself. This will be a good experience to know how stupid you sound and, how ridiculously insulated. And then I said, you can fix it now. It's writing. This is my first draft. I go, this sucks. I wouldn't read this thing. It's terrible. And then I'm like, so fix the whole thing. Just, play with it and this and that. And I'm terrible on tense and grammar. Never been my strength because I'm a talker. And I got a robot that's fantastic. It apologizes to me when it goes, now I know it's frustrating that you might have lost your tense there, but I got to show you. Oh my God, a sensitive robot. Where's this been all my life, right? Am I a sensitive genius robot on a... So that's what that's all about. Those books are pouring out of the 50 years. It's interesting. The gig for 50 years was just sitting and watching what happened every day and try to plug it in to some jigsaw puzzle. And then the only way to keep people going is you got to make fun of it or else they're going to fall asleep on you. I mean, who wants to watch paint dry? That's what it is, right? So you got to have fun with it. So that's, still what's up. And the books are...
Okay, and you're going on tour, I think you were telling me, going on tour all over the world.
Believe this. Now I'm in Rome about 6 months ago, sitting next to a kid, 35-year-old comedian, and he's tattooed like everywhere, fingertips and all like this. And it's great. I'm sitting next to him. 2 people said to me, "Oh wow, we're very surprised that you have any ink at all." And I do. I have mom and grandpa, but not like these guys. I got Wordle and grandpa. It's fantastic. So he says to me, this is just my 36th country. I said, I'm sorry. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm going all over the world with these groups of English-speaking comedians in every major capital. Like, pick any city you've ever heard of in the world. This group is there. So I said, you're kidding me. He goes, no. He goes, my wife is in Portland. She's got a great job. She visits me in these countries, and I stay like 3 or 4 months. I learn the language. I open mic. I get on a show, and I move on. I said, can anybody play this game? I said, could I sign? He goes, we'd love to have you. I go, oh my God. I said, right now I have to go get my Charles Schwab account and just, I don't know how he's doing it, but you got to just buy the airfare, and then you got to know how to work Airbnb, Verbo, Whoozy, Watsus, but who cares? The places will blow you away. Okay, so it's Paris, Amsterdam, Berlin, Prague, Then get ready. We're flying down to Mumbai, India, as in Mumbai. You know what I mean? Like, as
I got it.
in Delhi or anything. It's Mumbai. So we're going there. And then we go Melbourne, Australia. Then we bounce up oh no, I skipped over. Before we got to Australia, Shanghai. Shanghai, China, with the money. This is where they're secretly capitalists in China. You know what I mean? Like you just can't C word capitalist. So,
Let's move on to the TV and podcast stuff.
sure.
Ed, you've been on TV. You are crazy as
Yeah.
You've been
You
on
know,
TV. You've been on
it's happened.
CNN. I can't imagine you on CNN for God's sakes.
Right. You know, hold on just one second there. Yeah, there we go. It's falling down on me. Yes, to television. Awesome. Here's what I love, right? You're doing a radio show, and people start to talk about it. And the first place that radio guys love to be talked about is on TV. TV guys say, I listen to the guy's show. So this happened in Pittsburgh when I was at an ABC affiliate. It's my ice maker. It's true. The radio station and the television station were one big building, and it was Hearst Broadcasting, pretty big deal.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar. And the prep for the show, I was allowed to just meander around the newsroom as long as I didn't disturb anybody, but I could use their sources, look at their feeds. So I'm in there one day, and it's a fateful historical day that I just happen to be meandering. The state treasurer went on television and took his own life because he was under corruption charges. So I was like, wow. I watched everybody in the newsroom go crazy. I saw how they mobilized, came to my show, Showtime, and the whole debate in Pittsburgh that day was, would they show the video? Because everybody knew the video was available. So I went on and had the opinion, you have to show it with a warning, but you have to show it. You can't hide from the people. The guy got killed right in the middle of doing his job. So this got elevated, a clip of it, to Nightline. And now Nightline is covering it, and they covered a clip of me. This catapulted the radio. And all they had was like 4 seconds of me. You couldn't tell.
We got to talk to that guy.
That was, and the whole day I was paying careful attention. I did not see that coming because, it's a gruesome thing, but it was a one of a kind. It ties in with our earlier subject, First Amendment. Well, that was the basis. So
I hate to keep doing it, but a guy did that here in Pennsylvania. Our Bud Dwyer pulled out a gun.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about our Bud Dwyer. That's who I'm talking about. I watched.
Our Bud Dwyer. They had the video here in Pennsylvania. They talked about that. All the idiots come from Pennsylvania.
Right. Incredible.
The guy in Colorado, the Luigi, they're in New York. They call him Pennsylvania. They all come from my neck of the woods.
The guy that got gunned down in front of his VW Rabbit in Denver, talk show host. This was a guy I had visited a month before. I was driving across the country. I was on my way to Logan, Utah, of all crazy places, for a gig. And I said, something? I've been listening to the guy for like 6 hours in the car. I said, why don't you go into town? You got to eat anyway. Get a meal and go. Just put in a good word at the front desk. Don't ask for him to come out. Just say you're a fan, stopped in, great show. And he turned around from inside the studio, waved, a little wave. Okay, got the message. Thank you. It was a great animated guy. Alan Berg, B-E-R-G, Chicago guy in Denver. Anyway, within a month, he was gone. I couldn't get over it. I'm like, wow, you are bad luck. This guy's your hero. You pretty much got him killed with your little, pig pen cloud from Charlie Brown. What'd you do to this guy? Anyway, of course, I didn't.
You know what? And I'm laughing during that whole thing because I laugh at the wrong stuff. There's something wrong with me. I
Well,
told
something
you
wrong
this.
with all of
We
us. What are
chatted
we?
before about the 80-year-old guy. Now you have an 80 in Florida. You have an 80-year-old guy that wants to ride a bike around the world. Here in Pennsylvania, an 80-year-old man hit his wife with a shovel or with an axe in the head. And Ed,
Uh,
I love that story. She's okay, by the way. She's okay.
Great.
But she's there. I bet she never put sugar in his coffee again. I bet she won't
Yeah,
put it in
that's
dinner again.
safe bet. Very safe bet on your part, Scotty.
I
Oh,
think,
man.
I think, I don't even think he got charged.
Really? Maybe it was cash. Could have been all cash.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I, like,
Could have been
believe me,
Venmo.
I think he got off with.
Yeah.
Are you still do? Are
You
you
know
still
what?
do?
Let me ask you this out of nowhere, but it's
No,
a
no
modern.
questions, Ed. Are you still doing the
Oh,
podcast?
can I bring something up? Can I introduce an answer to
Well, we
you?
got to get to your comedy minute because
Oh,
we only
you
got
do?
about
Yeah, yeah,
10
yeah,
left. But
exactly. Hurry
no,
up.
no,
Yeah.
look, hold on.
Yes.
One question. Go ahead.
Oh, Zelle. Have you ever had a Zelle? You Zelle anything into your bank or out of your bank? Zelling money? You Zelle? You want to Zelle? I knew you'd love this. Zelling. It's supposed to be instant cash. You know, if you have a $10 and you're the other guy. Okay, so the other day I'm doing a Zelle. A guy came by to buy something out of the garage, in a garage sale. Okay, it was a ladder. We got two. I said, here you go. And he goes, oh, I Zelled you right now. I said, okay. I stood there for 2 hours and 30 minutes in front of the house. I got a beautiful suntan on an instant transaction. So if you have any, Zelle influence, I mean, instant for 2.5 hours. I have a real phone. I'm not using my
You
grandfather's
don't,
phone over here, with the flip.
I don't
I
even
don't
know
have
what
a
the hell you're talking
Motorola.
about.
Wow. Anyway, there you go. So
Hey,
that was it.
one last thing. One last thing before you do your comedy minute.
Yes.
Matt Nagan brought it up, and he told me to ask you about Sal's comedy hole. That's where it all started, uh, right?
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely. Okay, that was a wild experience. So I had a radio job, station changed format, and I was going to get paid for a while. And I'm living in New York. I just bought a house on Long Island, and I was like, "Wow, you have tons of time now to go to Greenwich Village and see what the comedy scene is." So in about 4 weeks. There was one down right near 9/11. It was very sensitive, but it was a neighborhood trying to make a comeback, man, that hole and everything. So we went down there, and I won a comedy contest that
imagine
evening.
that.
And the guy said to me, he goes, hey, I'm starting a Sal's Comedy Hole on McDougal Street. I go, McDougal? That's like the best street.
Yeah,
Absolutely. We're right up the street from the Comedy Cellar is there, Cafe One. I said, I'm there. Well, it turned into 6 nights a week,
yeah.
3 shows, and something that I'm proud of, but it's faded because of circumstances, whatever. But Robin Williams, all your legends did it. There's something called barking on the street for a show. You're in front
Yeah,
of
I know it. Carnival Barker. Yeah. Come on in, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I got it.
Right. But Williams and the pros, you run down the street after them and perform for them and do material. You're not barking. You do it. You know what? So this guy says to me, da, 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 and then the first person that hooks you, you play them and you try to get them into the. So this went on for 4 years around the calendar. New York City winters and New York City summers, but it was the best ever because we could say, just like you in this program, anything we wanted.
Yeah.
There were no limits on anything. Good taste, bad taste, didn't matter. Make them laugh. That was
God
it.
bless you. God bless you. We're going to run out of time, and I don't want to do that. And listen, I want to make a pact right now. When you get back from that tour or whenever, you're always welcome. But I've
Thank you.
actually heard your comedy minute. I had a preview, and I don't want to miss it. And make sure you have time to do it all. It is absolutely fantastic. Ed Tyll, your comedy minute. Go ahead, my friend.
I'm single. This is the long-standing, unresolved conflict of my life. Beautiful women dating. I don't know. I go to Thanksgiving and they're like, Edward, what happened to? You don't want to bring that up. And the modern dating methods, I don't like. Who likes? Do you really want more time with your phone where somebody filters out some crazy, dishonest photograph, to sexually arouse you before you'll swipe the phone? And, they got you because swiping and anything else, you got the right hand free. No, because I had a couple of these women and they'll say, oh, so what do you do? Where do you live? How many bank accounts? And I'm like, wait a second, what happened to chemistry and fornication? Is that anywhere in the mix here? So I've turned, Scott, as I've told many people, to true crime television.
Right. Yeah, I love
That's
it.
what I use to go and find a hot babe for a date and maybe more. And I have a favorite show. It's called Snapped. And it's a show where every Sunday, a woman snaps on her boyfriend or husband. And at the end of the show, when she's convicted, guess what they do for Ed Tyll? They give you the name of the prison she will be released from and the release date. Ha, ha, ha! So my friends are swiping with catfish, and I am engaging a woman of action. If you've been convicted of murder, I don't even want to know if she did it. If she tells me that she didn't do it and she was framed, I'm in. But I'll tell you what she hasn't had in a long time. I take her to the spa. I start dunking her in all that sweet smelling stuff. Baby, she's been in prison. Then we get the hair done, the nails. We send her out shopping on a clothing budget. And then I prepare the lair for when she's all dolled up. And then we begin, Scott, what could be a very exciting relationship. I mean, look, if she stabs me in the middle of the night, I can't say that wouldn't be exciting. She's just got to get me to the hospital on time. I'm not really a bleeder. So you know what I mean? There's a million ways to find excitement with exciting women. Now, this show I've been watching.
There's a new show coming out, Beyond Snap.
Show, right? That, Scott, you reading my mind. The new show that's coming out, they're taking it up a notch. And I have to say, women who kill their men using their lady parts was even a little shocking to me. I mean, how lethal can a labia be? I have limited reading on the subject. I haven't seen a lot, but I have to say, doesn't look dangerous. The women kill with the lady parts. The show will air immediately after Wicked Tuna. It's got a very catchy title, Deadliest Snatch.
You also told me, we got to get going, but you also told me about like the Dateline shows where I didn't do it. They stabbed their husband 90 times.
They bring him in. We have official footage of the interrogation. They put out a picture of the boyfriend. 90 holes in him. She's got fingers cramped from holding the knife. Her hand is still in knife stabbing, holding position, Scott, and she swears that she didn't do it.
She puts a little cut. She puts a little cut on her arm.
You know what I mean? Like, damn, your hand is screaming, you did it, you did it.
Somebody broke in.
It's always somebody broke in and they go, yeah, all the windows are locked. The door has the chain on it. The dog was fine. The camera has nothing. Who broke in? Fucking Casper the Ghost? All right, easy. Take it easy.
All right.
Dragging your cartoon heroes in.
Take it easy.